to GenFriends. I'm your host, Cheri Hudson Passey from Carolina Girl Genealogy, and with me is this goofy panel and a special guest who's wondering what he got himself into. So we have Dan Earl-Family History Guys with us tonight. Hey, Dan.
It's 100% Shelley. That's the thing.
Hi, Shelley. And of course, we've got Shelley Murphy, our family tree girl. Hello.
Hello, glad to be here tonight to see how Dan is going to be tonight.
We have a very special guest who probably wishes he would get off the show really fast.
He's going to fit right in.
No, not at all. Yeah.
This is Richard Miller. And if you haven't seen Goldie May yet, he's going to talk to us about this wonderful software program that he has that helps with research. And I wrote down this list of cool things that it does. It's a research log. Citations, it'll do citations for you, locality searches, research planning, let's see, workplace management. You know what, I looked at this and went, what do you mean by subway maps? So you've got to explain. I thought, well, I don't have any people that live near a subway, but I think that's what he means. So I'm really excited to hear you tell us all about this program.
Sounds like New York. Or
I know. I have played with it. I played with it a little bit, and what I've seen I really like. So take it away, Richard.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you. No, I appreciate the opportunity to be here. Thank you. Yeah. So I'm a software developer building Goldie May. It's a genealogy research tool. So it doesn't do anything with photos or memories or some of the other parts of family history. It's specific to genealogy research. And it's web-based software. So I'm not wanting it to be another tree where you put all your stuff. I want you to keep your tree on Family Search or Ancestry or wherever you keep it. And Goldie May can be your place for work in progress. So help you with not keeping your conclusions, but working toward your conclusions. And then you're going to put those on your tree. So it's got a suite of different tools. The subway map is a timeline tool. So I'll show you that. And
Shelley's always preaching timelines.
I push timelines.
Oh, good. Yeah. So we'll have to talk about this and see what you think. So, and then just other tools to kind of help you stay organized in your research and keep going with your different objectives that you're working on. So, I can jump in and share my screen if that's a good time.
Sure. Go ahead.
Well, while you're doing that, would you tell us the name Goldie May?
Oh yeah, so Goldie is my great grandmother's name,
Got it.
And the last living of her generation. So I knew her into I think my freshman year of college. She lived a long time, and May comes from my wife's side of the family. So we combine those to make Goldie May.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So I'll hit share my screen here. Okay, and then see if I've got this one in the right place. Okay, so I have Family Search pulled up, and I have gone already to goldiemay.com, and you can click this gold button, install Goldie May for free, and then it takes you to the Chrome web store where you install extensions to your browser. So I've clicked, I'll click it again for you. You can click Add to Chrome, and then this will add Goldie May, the extension, to your browser. You'll see this up at the top right. And that little black G is Goldie May. So what I'll do is click the black G to open up the window. And I like to make this a little bit bigger. So I'm going to just kind of split these 50-50. So what you see here is Family Search on the left. That's where I keep my tree. And then Goldie May is off to the side, kind of like an assistant where it's going to help you stay organized while you're working on your tree on the left. So one feature is the projects. So I have a bunch of projects in here that are associated with various people on my tree, and you can open up a project, keep notes about that project, and you can associate, certain people with from Family Search with that project. You can keep a task list, so you can keep track of all the various things you're working on for that particular project. So that's kind of those are the basics of staying organized on Goldie May. Maybe I should just jump right into the subway map, because I think that's one of the more interesting pieces and this timeline tool. So let me open up some bookmarks here.
So by you having Family Search up, that means there's some collaboration there.
Yeah, that's right. So behind the scenes, when you log into Goldie May, you log in with your Family Search account, and then you authorize Goldiemay to connect to your Family Search account, and then it doesn't download anything and kind of keep a copy of it. But as you're going on Family Search, it can pull up data for the person you're looking at based on whoever you're looking at.
Great.
Yeah. So, okay, let me show you the Goldiemay subway map for, this is Mette. This is an ancestor from Denmark. So, okay, so we have years along the bottom and places along the side. And so you're seeing these dots that represent data from the Family Search tree about where she lived at certain times. Mm-hmm. So you're getting kind of a two-dimensional timeline where you see both places and times at the same time. Mm-hmm. And this allows you to see some trends, because in genealogy, we want to see a consistent story of places over time. We wouldn't expect our ancestor to move all over the place. You know, the farther you go back, the less likely it would be to have lots of moving around. So if we want to look for a consistent story in the places, and the subway map helps us see that. So let me show you, for example, I'm going to switch from this kind of county view to the state view. And you can see, for example, that she was in this part of Denmark consistently over time. That's a horizontal line. Mm-hmm. Or when she moves down to this other part of Denmark, that's kind of a migration, a vertical line. When you see a diagonal line like this, that's not a slow walk to a new place. There's some ambiguity about the data in between. So we know that she was in Denmark at age 35, and then 6 years later, she's in Utah, but we don't know where she was in between for those 6 years. Mm-hmm. So there's an option to turn on hints, and then you can say, hey, I want to look in the 1850 or 1855 Denmark census. And if we know she was in the 1855 Denmark census, then the line will redraw, so you have less of that diagonal and more of a vertical, more of a migration. Mm-hmm. So these little gold hints you can click all over these and see various hints, but these allow you to launch a search into Family Search or Ancestry. So by clicking that, I'm opening a search just inside of that collection, the 1850 Denmark census, for Mette Petter's daughter, and now we're no longer searching all of the haystack of Family Search, but just that smaller haystack of that one collection for our person. You know, there's only 253 results, so you maybe expect to see her more likely in that place, because we're searching in the same place that she has already been. And then let me show you a couple other examples here. Here's an ancestor where, so this is one of the messier ones, because the data show this William Wilson.
That subway, good.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's back and forth across the Atlantic for the births of his children. So, there's this option to show the childbirths. If you don't show that, it's a really kind of boring line. But if you show the childbirth, then he's got children in New York, England, New York. And you could do this manually. You could scroll down and say, hey, where was this child born? And you kind of click through and see all the places where these children were born. But the subway map shows you in one quick view, hey, we've got a problem, because really it's probably that this is a family in one consistent place in England. And then these dots might be a separate family, because there's a consistency about being in New York. And so it's probably, that, someone accidentally attached these children to a person who's not really the father. And this hue is my line. So this is, I'm interested in getting this resolved. And I don't think William is really the father, or at least this William's not the father. And I can see it really quickly with this.
Right. Especially at that time period, today.
Yeah.
So, I must have two families somewhere.
Yeah, that's right. So that's, So then it works in a few other places. So here's a merge page. You're looking at two profiles, considering whether to merge them. And you can just see at a glance, it looks like there's really good consistency that the red person and the green person are in the same places. And that's what you'd expect for somebody that's, two profiles that are the same person. And so you kind of see at a glance that these are a good match for each other. And then, one other place you can see this is the source linker. So if you're about to attach a 1930 census record to the tree, you can open up these details areas, and then it'll pick up more data from the left side. And so I don't know if you can see these little red dots, but the red dots appear, and that's saying, the red dots are saying, this is the data that will be added to the tree if you attach this record to the tree. And so the tree is saying a birth in 1898, and this new record says 1899. So great, that's a really good match. And then the new record is saying residence in 1930, Dawson County, Nebraska, and the tree already has him in Dawson County, Nebraska before and afterwards. So you see really fast, okay, this looks like a really good match in addition to the names matching, et cetera. So I want the subway map to be a way to help you see the places really quickly and make sense of that really quickly.
So if you do see an error like you mentioned before, can you correct it or change it? Or because the map is only pulling from what's there.
That's right. Yeah. So you would need to correct it on the family search side. You would, in my case,
on the tree side. Okay.
Got to do on the tree side. Yeah. And then you go down to this, there's a little button that says reload data.
Okay.
And that would just refresh the map to match what's new in the tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So it's just another way to see it. Because sometimes we look at that list and we don't see those things that aren't quite right. So
that's right. Yeah.
The great visual. Yeah.
The
great visual.
Yeah.
Important.
Let me show you. Here's one where you can pull up America Jane Overland from Family Search. And then you can also pull up the same person from Ancestry. And then you graph them side by side. And so now you see, hey, my Family Search tree has some data that my Ancestry tree doesn't. And you can see those side by side. And then, of course, Ancestry has multiple trees, right? There's multiple public member trees. So if you were to go up over to someone else's America Jane Overland, as you open that, it'll graph that one as well. So there's someone else's America Jane, and you can say, hey, do I have some data points that they don't have, or vice versa? Here's you can just hover over these points and see.
Much easier way to compare those.
Yeah.
Now, is that royal blue always indicating the main from your tree?
It's always the first one on the graph, whatever that may be. Yeah, I'm in order of blue, green, red.
Blue
but
is what seems to be there now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it is.
The other thing you might want to see is just if I go to, this is my, let me turn off. This is my great grandfather. We could turn off childbirths, meaning I don't want to assume that his childbirths are his, and then we can start going back in a line. So let me choose his father, and then his grandfather, and then his great grandfather.
And mapping that.
It's mapping those, yeah. So if you can see overlap between the generations, and that's what you want. So as you go back, here's some time in Utah where the two generations overlap, and then as you get back, let me go back to this state view so it's not so busy. Here, this red one is the grandfather still living in Iowa after the son and grandson have moved to Utah. But then there's overlap, like there should be in Iowa when Bert is a child, and then there's overlap between the great grandfather in Iowa. And so you're looking for overlap between the generations, because that's how you know that they really belong together. Yeah.
Connection. I love that.
Yeah.
So you can do this with Ancestry tree or Family Search or both.
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is very interesting. I love being able to see it. And the map, when you're looking at all the different, like I said, those location things too, is really critical.
Yeah.
Keep track of that.
Yeah. And maybe I should mention the locations too. If you hover over, say you're not familiar with Iowa research, you can hover over Iowa and it'll say, hey, I want to open the Family Search Wiki to the Iowa page. So you don't have to type it in separately, or Family Search catalog for Iowa. Here's Iowa. So, even if you're at the county level and you want to just jump to Polk County, Iowa, it'll just open up that page right to it for you. And then you can jump in and say, vital records or whatever you want to search for. So that ends up being helpful to focus on the places that you're already in and then work on the records from there.
That's great. Now, as you're going through all this, is it saving it so you can go back and see what it is you looked at? Like, can you go back and capture? That's where it is on the Family Search Wiki, or?
This is the subway map is more dynamic. It's not remembering kind of who
Right,
we've
okay.
opened so far, unless I start a project. So I could go into
Okay.
So I could start a project for Carl and then save
Gotcha.
certain people to it, and it'll kind of stay locked
Okay,
on
and
that.
it will save it. Okay,
Yeah,
that's really cool.
and then and this is a decent time to show you, if you've got these items opened, one of the premium features of Goldiemay is this workspaces idea where you can come in here and say save all windows and tabs, and it will save a list of the 6 tabs we have open here.
I love
And
it.
so then, and if I close that and come back to it like this, they just open right back up. So
Wow.
that's a nice thing, and it's kind of an alternative to a research log in a way, because it's not a formal research log, but it's saying, hey, I've got a bunch of stuff in progress and I don't want to lose it, and I'll come back to it. So
Yeah, because how many times have we all done that? You go, I know we saw that, but how many pages back? Where do I click to go back?
And how many windows do we have open across
Yeah,
the
that's
top?
right.
Because we can't do that. So excellent feature.
Yeah. So then, and I didn't show you the research log, did I? So I let me do that. So let's just go ahead and do a project for Carl. What I'll do is create a new project, and we'll call this tests 1, 2, 3, and I'll copy his ID over to the project. And then, like I mentioned, you can go to the subway map and it's right there, but,
That's right
so you can go to the research log now, and we've got a blank research log for Carl. I could log, if I click log page, that drops the URL that I'm looking at into the log, and I could like it or dislike it. It's a negative result that didn't answer my question. I can change the title to something else, and there's an option here to create an abstract or summary from the page, and a place to leave a citation for the page.
Wow.
And so in the case of citations on family search and ancestry, it will actually pick up the citation from those records. Let me show you that. And as a premium feature, it will pick up the citation and drop that into the citation area. So let me go here, and I'll click log page. And let me go to one of these originals here.
Love that.
So you'll notice the little bookmark turns dark, and that means that it picked up a citation for it.
Something is
So
there,
yeah. So it's copying out the citation that's on the tab here.
Right. You guys, look how quick that is. I mean, so you're searching and you're gathering all this stuff, and then you can go back and really look at it later if you need to tweak something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do that. But how fast? So
I hope it's useful in that sense. I want to show you this Spencer County. This is an image that's restricted, right? So I'm at home. I can't see this from my home. If I log it, it will say family search restricted images.
Right.
And now what I can do is I could log out of Goldiemay, close it, go to the library now. And usually it's been fun when I go to the library to install Goldiemay in the browser, because it's not full-fledged software that's needs like a administrator's password to get into it. You can plug it into your browser, open up at the library, and then log into Goldiemay, and then you're back to your research log where you're looking at
save it. Okay.
So so if you're and there's a few options here to say show me search for everything that I've liked before, or search for everything from family search, or you can say search for every image that was restricted. So now I'm at the library and I want to reopen that image.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than having to go back through and saying, where are they? What do I need?
Exactly. Where was it? Yeah. So so that's right. So if I'm selecting a particular project here, but if I choose that I want to see all research logs and then search for restricted ones. Now here's my real research where these are images that are restricted, and I've got 3 pages of that. So those are the ones I want to see at a library.
Very cool.
So
I like that.
So, and then let's see what else you asked about. Automatic logging, Shelley, and whether. So I've had it off up until now, but if I turn it on, then if I go to, a new URL over here, Google or Yahoo, whatever it may be, just after a couple seconds, you'll see that appear.
Oh, look at that.
That is awesome.
So you could, if you keep that on, you can just log everything as you go.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Some people say, I want to log everything and then decide later. Or some people say, I want to control what I log. But you can choose. And sure enough, it'll log recipes or your email or whatever. So,
So what you're logging, right?
Yeah. So go,
That's
maybe
so useful though.
So you can, and if you log something you don't like, come back in here and say, search for Gmail or whatever you logged that you don't want, and then you come down to the bottom and say delete. Yeah.
Well, Dan, I know that Dan's loving the program. He wants you to add a feature to order pizza while you're researching.
Right. You can work with Little Caesars or something, just where you can just like one click and have them deliver some pizza.
Oh, hey, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, then you'll never have to leave, right? I mean, that's the...
Yeah. Good. Yeah. No. Yeah. Maybe every time you log 10, you get another slice on your way.
There you go.
Yeah. Let's see, and I didn't show you. You can export the log, so CSV file. If you want to just drop that out to a spreadsheet, then you can log that to a file, and then the log while it's running is kind of reverse chronological order, the most recent at the top. Right. But once you get it in a spreadsheet, then you could just change the order however you want, and it's got the data in here for you. So that's the.
Oh, I love that.
So that's the quick rundown. I'm trying to think if I didn't show you.
What is Canvas?
Oh, let me show you that. So
Canvas is, but show us that.
Yeah. So let me show you with an image like, let me go back to here. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that the research log also does screenshots. So say you find your person in the census and you want to do a screenshot. I've right clicked here and I can choose take a screenshot.
Okay.
And then you can go down here and say, you draw a box around the part of the screen you want to save. And so now that gets logged into your research log.
I love that.
And then
love that.
I love that too. I mean, I love that visual view, and
it's
you can
fast.
Yeah. It's right there in the browser, so it's nice and speedy. And then the research log and the screenshots are a free feature. And then if for the paid users, they can use this canvas, which is kind of another view of the same screenshots, where you come in here, and let me just give you like another screenshot to compare, but you can drop a couple of screenshots into this canvas and kind of treat it like a table that you're going to move images around and organize. And I think it's really nice for that situation, like the William Wilson ancestor, where you probably got two families mixed together. And so you go and take screenshots of all the sources, and then you start sorting them and say, hey, these ones go together and these other ones go down here. And so I'll physically kind of move them on this little canvas to group them. And then once I've grouped them, I can tell which families really belong together. And then it's time to go over to the tree and clean it up. So that's how I'm using the canvas right now.
That a lot. I like that a lot. And I was saying earlier that I was envisioning, I use spreadsheets, but I'm not great at spreadsheets. I could just copy and paste everything into a program where I want to save it too, if I want to save it someplace else. So yeah,
that's right. If you talked about what legacy was it, you were gonna you could just drop your research log out into save it into legacy or wherever else you want it.
So that would be fun too. So so many different options and ways, and I'm just seeing how fast it is. As we start researching, we're finding all this stuff, and it's stuff,
and all the windows are open, and all the way because we're trying to remember. Where we went, where did we see that or whatever. And this is great, especially when you're working on, it's definitely, and I'm saying this from my experience, it looks like it's geared towards projects, even though it's still your family tree is a project, but it could definitely be the project manager of all the information, the logs, the research, the documents, and, screenshots and whatever. So,
that's right.
Excellent. Yeah.
Very,
I guess that comes from your mind, the mode, the project.
If projects don't fit for you, or you can choose how to use them, right? Because I've got probably 4 projects for one ancestor, but then other projects I group everything together for that ancestor, and
Yeah, so whatever makes sense. Yeah, whatever makes sense. Yeah.
I'm not consistent on that, so I've kind of just played around with it, you know.
So what you got? Edit, and what's the second one?
Oh yeah, so that's projects and tasks, and then this is the research log, subway map, canvas.
Okay, got it. And then
workspaces.
Yep.
Yeah.
And could you show us the workspace again?
Yeah, that was that thing where you can save all your tabs from your research. So this is specific to this particular project, but I got going and I've opened a bunch of tabs, and then I don't want to stop, but I can go back to launch that window. I click on window 1, it'll open up all those 30 tabs that I had before. Yeah.
Wow.
And so then you just don't lose those and keep track of where you were. And this one, that project happened to have a lot of workspaces, but you can kind of view.
And that's your goal up top.
Yeah, that's right. It kind of lets you choose the project you're working on, your goal.
Right. Or
and
what you're specifically looking at. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Because your questions and things that come up.
That's right.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's let's see. I'm trying to think if I've left anything out. That's probably a good rundown of the features.
That little thing looks like a bookmark.
Oh, that was probably the workspaces that you mentioned. Yeah,
that's workspace. And so you got one, Leonard J. Wilson and Hugh. Why is there 2 people there and only one on the other ones?
Oh, that's just what I chose to.
Okay.
Yeah, I just chose to add 2 family search IDs to this project because.
Okay.
Yeah. And so if I go to the subway map, then I instantly see both of those together.
Both of them in side by side. Okay.
Yeah.
It's very
and
nice.
Then can
so it starts at 1800 and goes to 1920. Can it go further?
Yeah, however far back your tree goes. Yep, it'll go back. Just keeps drawing. So this is the questionable line, but it'll go back to
the beginning.
1680.
So really based on that tree. Got it.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it.
So cool. It's a Chrome extension, but most of the data is in the cloud. So if you log out and go to a friend's house and log back in, then you've got it with you. You don't have to carry a thumb drive to the library. So I use that if I'm at the library and I take a screenshot of something that I can only see at the library, then I've got it in my research log. And then if I go home, it's there to see, and I didn't need to carry it on paper or a thumb drive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. I really.
Thank you.
Yeah. So like I told you, I've got it, but I haven't played with it like I should. I'm like, oh, I need to start playing.
Yeah, let me know how it goes. I'd love to get feedback. And my email address is at the bottom of every page. So I love feedback from anybody. And we have a YouTube channel. So there's videos, kind of demos of all this stuff. Shelley saw the 3-minute demo. That's the quick overview of all this.
We'll have all those links on so people can get to it from the blog.
Yeah. And then the YouTube channel has a new series too, where we're doing we're calling it unrehearsed research. So we just get on and do some research together. And I've done 16 plus episodes with James Tanner and 3 with Nicole Dyer. And I even for I use Goldie May, but for other people that use other tools, I'd love to see how people work. So I'd love to see the various tools that people use when they're researching. And so that's the goal of that channel, to show how people work.
I think it's fun to watch. Yeah, I think it's fun to watch how other people work, because that gives you ideas. Sometimes we get stuck in what we're doing, and then we see other people's ideas and like, oh my gosh, I need to try that. Kind of helps break through some brick walls.
Yeah.
We create our own because we keep doing things the same way. So very.
Yeah. Shelley, you said Wayback Machine?
I see it on there. What is that?
Okay, this is cool. So
you know what I'm thinking of with Mac. You got the time thing, time back, or time machine, or something that saves all of our stuff. Yeah.
It's similar. Yeah. If you've so this is a page that this is a PDF that is no longer on the internet. So this Sharon Temple is up in Ontario, Canada, and I had ancestors that we're here in this. It was an Amish, or not Amish, but a Quaker community. Yeah, thank you. And they were in this community, and so this PDF that had all this family information is no longer on their website.
Oh,
So you can go
no.
to archive.org
Uh-huh.
and you can type in any URL, and they often have a copy of any URL from like going way back. So let me type in family search and say you go back to.
And that's what made me think of I think it's called Time Machine for Macintosh. Apple.
Yeah, the backup. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you can just go back to all these different snapshots of family search, and it can be slow to load sometimes, but
any website, really, it's any website.
Yeah, any website. Yeah,
any website is no longer available. Yeah.
So
very cool.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, that's one of those examples of like, little random things that we all know some of. All of us know something different, and so when we see each other do it, we get to pick that up.
Exactly.
Because again, automatically went to the Time Machine backup.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
What I like too is seeing tools that are created by people who are really researchers,
that are users,
that are and they are actual genealogists, and they are researching. And I think that those are the best tools out there, is because we all think differently as researchers, but you can tell when somebody has created something because they research, and not, well, I'm going to create this and then I'm going to learn how to, you know what I'm saying? So so I really,
thank you.
I really, really like this. Shelley, did you have another question? You look like you did.
Yeah, and you said that some of the options, and a lot of this I'm saying, for viewers too, some of the options were free, and there's other options that are paid, or certain things you get, you pay for.
Yeah.
Can you tell us what the two are?
Yeah, so kind of back on the home screen, if you log in as a free user, you'll see projects and research log and volunteering. Those are free. And then I need to mention this too. Just a week ago, I made it so that everyone, including free users, can see the subway map 5 times per month.
Oh, great.
So so it's unlimited if you're a paying subscriber, but if you're not, then it's 5 times a month. You choose your 5 ancestors, and then you can work on them all month long. And then at the first of the month, you can reset and do 5 more. So that lets you at least play with it and see
the information, whatever you're doing, it is still there, right?
Yeah, the log is saving your information. The projects are there. That's right. What you wouldn't see is the canvas and the workspaces.
Got it.
And then with one little asterisk on the research log is the citations of the research log you won't see.
Got it.
But yeah, everything else in the research log, the screenshots are included, the projects are included, tasks are included.
Cool.
So, and then, I'm hoping, just, I think it was Friday that I launched the 5 free per month for everyone. So that I'm hoping more people get a chance to try it and see how it goes and see if it's helpful to them.
Yeah. I just heard it mentioned, and again, just before we came on, I saw the 3-minute video, and I think it's fascinating. And I think of the projects that I work on, and, it looks like a useful tool. And I think of it project wise, not necessarily family wise, but project wise. If I'm researching X amount in one community or whatever, that's a project for me, or something like that.
Yeah.
This is perfect for you, Shelley, because you do so many of those types of projects to keep
I just
together.
Finished up doing a PowerPoint presentation for a group, and it's just on specifically it's documenting the community, so it's everything you want to know about Albemarle County, Virginia, and what, as a researcher, what do you need to know during the time period that you're looking at. And so I was just going there, but that's why there's 20 windows open.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what I'm saying, as far as the workspace and being able to log that in and whatever.
Right. And this,
but even doing a family, I can see that, a family being able, especially if I'm tracking the family, the father, the 12 children and whatever, but to be able to build that. it's a lot of I keep going back to that research log every time because I spend probably a couple hours a day just going back to wherever I'd been. And if you put it in bookmark, you don't see it anymore. Then I have to figure out what time was that or when was that. But I think this could help me a lot.
I think that's, if you were working on a community, you could just say, hey, I'm working on such and such community.
And I work by county.
County. And you don't need to add a person to it because it's not specific to one person.
No.
But then you could, go to your research log, turn on automatic, and then wherever you go, it's you're logging it.
The research log.
Shelley's like, yes.
Just for the research log, I think I could be happy. You know? And I think of the commit, like I said, Albemarle County, and say I'm doing Thomas Jefferson or Monroe or whoever, because they're neighbors anyway. But in everything to log, and then it seems like it is in a timeline format for me visually to see. So it's really the resources going back, because I spend throughout the day time just, where did I see that at? Where was that at? And you don't write down URLs. You definitely You never get it right. So
and you don't want to copy and paste those over to a spreadsheet or
I'm not that great at that thing. I can find it, but it will take time. I think a log would help. And you were able to edit something. I saw you did something when you put something in there,
if you can edit the title and then
so
and then
that's another key feature, I think, because it's going to be in your language and your thought of how to go back.
That's right. Yep.
Very interesting. And what was that, Dan?
No, I just put in the chat. This is such a great tool especially for new and intermediate genealogists, because I mean, really the part that really kind of separates professional and experienced genealogists from beginners is doing something like a research log, is doing something, putting together a timeline. And that's the kind of the piece that a lot of people are missing. And this just makes it so easy, so intuitive to just do it. I mean, you don't even have to think about it. I mean, you can set it to automatic and it does the thinking for you. And I mean, you just have to be careful what you're surfing, if you get distracted, right?
Well, you're making a good point, Dan, because as we teach now, we're teaching new people to genealogy to start off with those timelines and stuff where you got 20-30 year experience people that still aren't doing them, but they have their own way, where we got a whole nother generation of people coming through that are hearing about timelines, they're hearing about research logs and this, that, and the other. And a lot of us are self-taught from the beginning. I'm way past 30 years in this arena here. And what I did when I first started, there wasn't this internet, or anything like this. It was a piece of paper or a notebook, or a pad. It wasn't even a cell phone.
Exactly. Shelley, I'm thinking too that this is good. It was good for everybody, but I could see this pulling in younger researchers because
it's the
technology. It's quick, and the technology, and they want things that are quick, and this provides
and two, for someone that has little kids, right, where there's a consistent and pervasive amount of distraction going on in my house. Like, you can probably hear kids practicing the piano. There's probably an argument happening somewhere in the background, right? Like, all of that stuff is going on. So the lights aren't flickering yet, but like, any given time, there's a possibility of one of my children running naked in the background. I mean, you just can't control them, right? And so this is a great tool too for younger genealogists that have kids, because it just picks up where you left off. Like, you don't have to like go, where was I again? It's just right there.
I agree.
Yeah, thank you for those thoughts.
Goldie May, the name, I just love Goldie May.
I thought it had something to do with like loans or something. Like,
that's Sally May.
Sally May.
That's Sally May.
Yeah, other May.
Yeah,
like,
my mother is Jenna May.
On the show. That's so weird. Cheri's
we don't want Sally May in this room.
Right.
We don't want Sally Mae.
Just
Goldie May is great.
Goldie May, fantastic.
Yes.
Sally Mae.
Oh, you
The
guys are
great
great.
grandmother, right, Richard?
Yeah, that's right. My great grandmother.
So
I
fun.
love it.
That
Yeah.
is so fun.
So we've tried to stick with the gold colors when we can and
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, perfect.
have some fun with
Right.
it. Yeah.
Oh
I think
yeah,
this is
perfect.
exciting.
It is very, very exciting. And I just hope that, after people watch this, they'll get on and give it a try and
Yeah.
pick up their research a notch. I think this is
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's really exciting. I think it's, like I said, something that I need to be using.
The organizing is the
Yes.
thing I love. It's
Yes.
getting it in order in one place, and so.
Exactly.
Well, I'd love feedback if you get in and try it and it's like, it works, but it's missing this one thing. I mean, this is active development for me, so I don't consider it done. And I'd love any feedback that any of y'all have.
Pizza
Right.
button. I'm telling you.
Pizza button.
That's going to take it to the next level,
Mine
That's
is
what it's missing.
popcorn and coffee or tea.
Right?
Save the wine for later.
Alert family member. Like you can just click on alert family member and then it's like a little chat box open. They're like, what do you need? They're like popcorn and coffee. I need pizza and a Sprite, like just whatever. And then they just bring it to you,
I've got water right now.
I
so
love
I'm
it.
doing
I
good.
love it. Yeah, you shouldn't really ask us what we think.
You can tell we're here in the evening, definitely doing our research. This is early for us getting going.
This
And
is
so I
fun.
still got about 4 or 5 hours to go.
Yeah, she does.
so.
She's up all night.
Oh,
long.
you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not a sleeper when your ancestors bother you all the time. Yeah.
This way you can use this, go take a nap, and when they bother you again, you can go right back to where you were.
yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and again, it's more. For me, I see it project based, and I'm thinking that it's by county, and then the multiple people or families within the county.
Yeah.
And
And
just like I
that's
said,
another thing that's so great, Shelley, is because you could use this for either. Anybody looking at it could see how this could help
Yeah.
what particular project they're working on, whether it be somebody from their tree or
Yeah.
the work that you do. And so it works
Yeah.
for both. So, well, does anybody else have any
Appreciate it.
questions, or Richard, or something that we didn't mention that you would like for us to mention?
I don't think so. It's been great to get your thoughts and your questions. And no, I really appreciate the time to come on and talk about it.
Oh, we're so glad. We're so glad that you did. Because like I said, I've got it, but I haven't used it like I should. So this has been really fun for me. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I
Thank
want to
you.
thank the panel for being here too.
Yeah.
And with that, we will say goodbye, and we'll see you next time on GenFriends.
Thank
And
you.
put the links and things in,
Yep,
right?
the links will all be in it as usual.
Great.
Okay, thanks. Bye, everybody.
Thank you all. See you later.
Bye-bye.